Hey guys, welcome to the 8th video in my Python for Everybody series. So in this one we're going to solve the exercises from chapter 9, which is about dictionaries. Okay, let's get started. First, make sure to have these two files again, mbox.txt and mbox.short.txt. We used this in the previous exercises, but you need these again, and make sure to save them in the folder where you will solve where you will put the scripts for chapter 9 exercises. Okay, I already have done that, so I'm going to get started right away. In the first exercise, we're going to write a program which categorizes each email message by which day of the week the commit was done. Okay, so we're going to use the email log file, for example, mbox or mbox short. Let's see mbox short. You see that the day is written in the line which starts with from. Okay, so if you split this line by the if you get a list of words of this line when you perform the split on the string, you can see that Saturday is the third element, the third word on that list, which has index 2. Okay, let's write the code and we will go along with that. Okay, so first we need to identify all the lines which starts with from, and then look for the third word and keep a running count of each of the days of the week. Okay, for that we will be using a dictionary. Let's get started. First we need to open the file, and we're going to get that from the user. So we're going to get the file name from the user. I'm going to write file name equals input, enter a file name. Okay, so we get the file name from the user, and now we open it again using the open function, file name, and in read mode. Now we need to iterate line by line. So we need to add an if condition only for the lines which starts with from. So if line dot starts with from, and we need to let's first print the line so we have a better idea on how that looks like. Okay, let's run this. I'm going to run it from the terminal here. Okay, so I'm going to enter mbox.short. Let's run this manually. Dash short. Sorry about the error here. So we have an error while opening the file, which is strange since we have mbox short here. This is a strange error. Oh, okay, so the error is again, we're not in the right folder, so chapter 09, and I'm going to run this, mbox short. Okay, so as you can see, we get the lines which so this is not exactly what we want because we only want these lines which start with from only and not with from with a colon, because only these lines have the day. Okay, so what we can do here we need to specify that we only want the lines which starts with from and a single space. Okay, so let's run this again and see. Mbox short of text, and this is exactly what we want. Okay, so how can we get only the day? First, we need to split the line. This will split it by default using the space. So it will split it into the words. Let's run this and see. Oh, nice. So this is what we want in this case. And we need to get the third element on the list. So let's try to print this. So with index 2 and box. Exactly what we want. Okay. So let's save this into the day. And now, first we need to declare, before we start looping through the lines, we need to declare a dictionary where we're going to save all the information, the days with the counters. So I'm going to declare here days equals with an empty dictionary. And now, after we get the day, I'll try to see if this day is already in the dictionary days. If not, then I'm going to. So the dictionary will be with a key the name of the day, and then as a value it will be a counter on how many times uh, this day has been repeated into these lines. Okay. So first I'm going to check if we already have a count for this day. So I'm just going to use the days dot get and then get by the key of the day. And since the get function offers you to use a default value, I'm going to use the default value 0. That means that go and check the counter for this day, but if there's no entry for this day in the dictionary, then just put the default value 0. Okay, so um, we're going to try to get the day, and then we have to increment it by 1, and we're going to save it again into the days with a key value. Okay, so we're going to get the value and 0 if there is none, and then we're going to increment it by 1. So after this, we are going to save this value with the key day, right, like this. So this is an assignment of the value to this key. This is pretty much all we need to do in this case. Let's try to print now this dictionary days. Let's run this again. And we get Saturday 1, Friday 20, Thursday 6, which is exactly what we want because the order doesn't matter in a dictionary. Okay, so this is it for this exercise. Let's check out the next one. In this exercise, we need to read through the mail log again and build a histogram using a dictionary to count how many messages have come from each email address. So a histogram is built using the dictionary, so we just need to create this dictionary. We're going to copy some of the code we used here, since we don't have to write it from scratch. So I'm getting again the file name, I'm opening that file, and then I'm going to declare a dictionary with email addresses. Okay, and in this dictionary will have as keys email addresses from where the emails have come, and as a value the counter of how many emails have come from this particular address. Okay, like you see here in the example. Okay, to do that we need to iterate through the file, and for each line again we need to check if it starts with from. And in this time, we only need to get the second word or with the index 1. So let's see and try to print this first. Writing here email. So we check for lines which starts with from, and we want to get the one with index 1. Let's comment this at the moment and try to print email. This will, we need to move again to the correct folder. Okay, file name will be mbox short. We have a print here which is wrong. But anyway, as you can see, we only get the email address. It's here exactly what we want. So we're going to do the same trick again, but this time for email addresses. So in our dictionary email addresses, we're going to check for this particular email using the get function, and if it already exists, we are going to return the value, but if not, we're going to assign the value, the default value 0. Okay, and then we're going to increment the counter by 1. In the end, we just need to print these dictionary email addresses. Let's run this and see. mbox-short.text, and we get this 2, 3. Let's check it here. So for Gopal, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, so it's 1. Okay, so this seems to be working just as we want it to. Okay guys, let's continue with the next exercise. Okay, so here we need to use the code we just wrote, but we need to figure out which email has the most message in a file. Okay, so we need to implement a maximum loop, which was explained in the book, to find who has the most messages and print only that email and how many messages that person has. Okay, so first let's copy the code from the previous exercise. Okay, right here. Okay, we are again getting the file name, reading. Now we need to use this dictionary, and we also need to declare a variable where we will keep the maximum maximum count, the key value for the email which has the most email sent. Okay, for the email address which has the most email sent. Let's just declare this as max. Oh, sorry. Right here, I'm just going to call this max emails, and I'm going to initialize it as 0. So now we start iterating into the file lines. We get the files which starts with from. We split them. We get the email address, and then we finished creating the dictionary of email addresses. And now we need to iterate through this dictionary to get actually the one which has the maximum number. Okay, if we had a list, we'll just use the max function, but this is a dictionary. So let's move this here. Maybe it's cleaner like this. I'm going to remove this print. So to iterate the dictionary, we just iterate through the keys for k in email addresses. Okay. Now we check if this the maximum of emails, the number we declared, is bigger than the value for this key. So How do we access the value for this key? Just using the dictionary and the key value here. Okay, so if is bigger than max emails, we can now reassign max emails to be this number, email addresses for this key. Okay, so we just check if this number is actually bigger than the maximum of emails, and we just reassign max emails to be this one. Okay, but we are still missing something here. What about the cases where well, so we have the 0. Let's first run this and see how this works. So to run this, we need just to print in the end the max emails. So this will be the key. No, so this will be the value, but we also need to get the key. So to get the key, we need to save it somewhere. So for this max emails, we need to save the key K we get here, and we can do something. So we declare two variables, max address, which we can declare it to none. And then in this one, we just do so we assign the max value, but we also assign the key for this max value, the max address. This will be equal to the key. Okay, so we just print max address here and the max emails. Let's run this and see how this goes. Let's going to the terminal and moving again. Okay, let's run this. And I'm going to give mbox short like always. Sorry about that. Okay, so we get this email 5, which which is the correct one for mbox short. Let's try for mbox. mbox.text. Okay, so this one seemed to be working exactly how we want it to. And in case we don't get an email, or for example, if this dictionary is empty, then we just leave it at none and 0. Okay, so this seems to be working fine. Let's move on with the next exercise. Okay, so the last one for this chapter. We're just going to record the domain name in this exercise instead of the address where the message was sent. So we don't need the whole email address, only the domain. Okay, so this again seems pretty straightforward. I'm going to use the code again from exercise 3. Let's copy it here. So we get the file, we open the file, but in this case, we're not going to save the email addresses, but the domains. Okay, so I'm just going to declare an empty dictionary with domains. We're going to iterate through the lines. We are checking the lines which starts with from and the space. We split the line, and let's comment this and this, and just see again And we're going to comment this as well. So I'm just going to print the line. Okay. And I'm going to run Python 3 for exercise 5. Mbox short. Okay, so this is the line, and we only need to get the domain here. But how do we do that? If we split the line, then the second word, or the one with the element with index 1, is the email address. But after we get the email, we need to extract only the domain from the email. Okay, so far right here, we get the email. And now to get only the domain, we need to split this string. So the email is a string. We need to split it on this at character, and we need to get only the second part. So let's see how that works. So first let's print it so you can see email.split, and I'm going to give as the input the at character. Let's run this for mbox short.text. Same error again. Sorry about these errors. Okay, so we get a list with 2 elements, and we only need to get the second one. Okay, so to get the domain, we do this. Domain is equal to email.split, and then we only get the second element. Let's print this just for you to see. Mbox short text, exactly what we want in this case. So now we need to do the same thing we did in the previous exercises, but only for the domains. So let's uncomment this and modify. So I'm going to use the dictionary domains and the key domain. Okay, and again I'm going to use the get function and try to get this domain, or if it doesn't exist, I'm going to get the default value 0, and I'm going to increment it by 1. Oh, sorry, I got this typo here. Okay, so in the end, we just need to print the domains dictionary. Let's run this. Mbox short.text, and we get this. Let's check it with so for mbox short, for Berkeley we get 4. Okay, for this other one 6. Okay, so everything seems to be working fine. Okay guys, so this was the last exercise for this chapter. I hope you're still working on this and you're trying to solve these exercises by yourself. Okay, thank you for watching again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, check out my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, and you can help support this channel. Oh, so the next video will also be a little bit different. I'm also uploading a mix of songs which I use when I code. So I haven't created the songs, of course. They are mostly from games or stuff like that. But those are songs which really help me get in the mood for programming, and it will be an 8-hour mix which you can use in your day-to-day work. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.